it's Tash. Welcome to Tash's Library. Today's video is going to be my January TBR. Can you believe it? It's going to be January 2023 very shortly. This year's TBR game is slightly amended. I have created a special board instead of just using my cards. So I'm so excited to give it a go. Once again, I think I'm going to choose 8 books. So I'm going to have 8 throws. And then if I need more during the month, I'll just add some more. But I think 8 is doable. That seems to be a good average for me. This is my new TBR game board, as it has a number of different segments that are color coded to correspond with my prompt cards. I'm just going to throw 1 die, and whichever one I land on, then I have to pick that prompt. And I'm going to start down here with my cute little Eeyore Lego piece. So let us begin. 1, blue. So the first one is foiled. So that means I need to pick a book that has foiling on the cover. So ultimately a pretty book. I'm okay with that. And for foiled, I'm going to go with the most foiled book in my collection, and that is Circe by Madeline Miller. The whole thing is foiled. It's such a cool color. The whole thing, the spine is foiled. The back is foiled. So I think this covers the prompt very, very well. This is a retelling that I've been looking forward to reading, and it follows Circe. So in the house of Helios, god of the sun and mightiest of the Titans, a daughter is born. Circe is strange, not powerful and terrible like her father, nor gorgeous and mercenary like her mother, but she has a dark power of her own, witchcraft. When Circe's gift threatens the gods, she is banished to the island of Aya, where she hones her occult craft, casting spells, gathering strange herbs, and taming wild beasts. Yet a woman who stands alone cannot live in peace for long. And among her island's guests is an unexpected visitor, the mortal Odysseus, for whom Circe will risk everything. Circe's tale is a vivid epic of family rivalry, loss and love, the indistinguishable song of a woman burning bright and hot in the darkness of a man's world. So this sounds kind of cool. I have been putting it off a bit because I'm a little bit worried it's sad. I don't like sad books. I'm going to give this one a go. I love retellings. I love books about witches. So I think this fits the bill. Roll number 2. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's gold. Female author. Should be pretty straightforward to do. And for female author, I'm going to go with N.K. Jemisin, The City We Became. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time, so this was a no-brainer for me. This is, I believe, an urban fantasy where every great city has a soul. Some are ancient as myths, others are as new and destructive as children. New York, she's got 6, and all 6 will be called to arms in the greatest battle of the city has ever fought. So from what I can tell, this book is really about the city itself and how the city has a personality of itself. And it sounds pretty cool, and it is the first of a series. And yeah, I haven't read much of N.K. Jemisin, so I'm really looking forward to this one. And roll number 3 is 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's red. And that's a book that reminds me of summer in some way. So it's either got a word in the title that is reminiscent of summer, or colors on the cover, or anything, or set in summer. So we'll see what I can find. And for summer, I'm going to go romance novel. I know, but I did promise myself that I'd give Emily Henry another go because I did really enjoy her writing. And I think this is a properly good summer read. So I'm going to go with You and Me on Vacation. This sounds like quite a fun sort of friends to lovers sort of books. It doesn't seem to be enemies to lovers. So that's something, because I hated that trope in beach read. So I'm hoping this is probably a little bit more my style, but the premise of this is 12 summers ago, Poppy and Alex meet. They hate each other and are pretty confident they'll never speak again. Then 11 summers ago, they're forced to share a ride home from college, and by the end of it, a pact is formed. Every year, one vacation together. 10 summers ago, Alex discovers his fear of flying. Poppy holds his hand the whole way. 7 summers ago, they get far too drunk and narrowly avoid getting matching tattoos in New Orleans. And 2 summers ago, it all goes wrong. So this summer, Poppy asks Alex to join her on one last trip. Could this trip make them realize they're not just friends after all? Sounds, yeah, I don't know. It could be it's hit and miss really for me, because I'm not a romance reader, but I think it'll be kind of nice to have something quite light and a quick read for the month. So that's my summer pick. Okay, book number 4 is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a green. Great first line. Okay, so that's going to be a bit of searching, because I'm going to have to find a book that is on my TBR that has a great first line. For great first line, I'm kind of being loose on this one too, mainly because I really want this book on my TBR, and the first line's cool. I like it. So this is The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. I have heard that the latter books aren't as good, but I've also had this one recommended to me. So I will put this on my TBR. And the first line is, Kip crawled towards the battlefield in the darkness, the mist pressing down, blotting out sound, scattering starlight. So I think that's pretty. I think that's nice writing. It's not groundbreaking. It's probably not, the best first line I could have found in all my books, but it's going on there because I want to read this book. This is about Guile, who is the Prism, the most powerful man in the world. He is high priest and emperor, a man whose power, wit, and charm are all that preserves a tenuous peace. Yet prisms never last, and Guile knows exactly how long he has left to live. When Guile discovers he has a son born in a far kingdom after the war that put him in power, he must decide how much he's willing to pay to protect a secret that could tear his world apart. I've heard this has a great magic system to do with the light spectrum, and I love good magic systems. It sounds good, it sounds epic. Looking forward to this one. And the next prompt is 3. 1, 2, 3. That's blue. Non-fiction. That's certainly mixing it up. I do have a number of non-fictions that I do want to read. So that's going to be a bit of a choice, actually. So for non-fiction, I'm going to go with The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs by Steve Broussat. I've been looking forward to reading this. The color's awesome, and it seems to be written in a really enjoyable manner, from what I can tell. So 66 million years ago, the dinosaurs were wiped from the face of the earth. Today, a new generation of dinosaur hunters are piecing together the complete history of how the dinosaurs created a hugely successful empire that lasted for around 150 million years. Steve Broussat, one of the world's leading paleontologists, uses fossil clues that have been gathered using state-of-the-art technology to follow these magnificent creatures from the start of their evolution to their final days and the legacy that they left behind. Along the way, Broussat offers thrilling accounts of some of the remarkable discoveries he has made, including primitive human-sized Tyrannosaurus and monstrous carnivores even larger than a T-Rex. This sounds pretty cool. Anyone who knows me knows I love dinosaurs, and so that's going to be my non-fiction for the month. And book number 6 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a silver. Profession. All right, so that means the title has to relate to a profession in some way. For profession, I'm kind of doing this loosely. I'm going to go with The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, because being king is a profession, right? It's a profession. I think. I mean, it's not a chosen profession unless you kind of take power. But I've been wanting to read this and it fits and it's going on my TBR. So sorry, my game. This is epic. I believe that this is the first book of the Dandelion dynasty. And I've heard the first book is probably a little bit slower. It's a bit more of a setup, but I'm dying to read this. And I've been wanting to read it for so long. And for some reason, just like some of the others, it hasn't made it onto my solid TBR. So this is the month, this is the year that I'm going to read the Dandelion Dynasty. Let's see what this is about. So Emperor Mapidere was the first to unite the island kingdoms of Dara under a single banner. But now the emperor's on his deathbed. His people are exhausted by his vast conscriptive engineering projects, and his counselors conspire only for their own gain. Even the gods themselves are restless. A wily, charismatic bandit and the vengeance-sworn son of a deposed duke cross paths as they each lead their own rebellion against the emperor's brutal regime. Together they will journey to the heart of the empire, witnessing the clash of armies, fleets of silk-draped airships, magical books, and shape-shifting gods. Their unlikely friendship will drastically change the balance of power in Dara, but at what price? And so this is debut novel by Ken Liu, and wow, it sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. All right, 2 more rolls. Roll number 1 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's a red. That's going to be a weapon on the cover. All right, that should be a pretty easy one. And for weapon on the cover, I'm going to go with Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan, and this is the first book in the Rhyria Revelations. This has been on my loose TBR forever. I've been wanting to read it for so long, and for some reason it never gets onto my solid TBR. And so this is it. There are weapons. There are weapons on the cover. The word swords is on the cover. So this is a sign that this is the time for me to read this book. So this was initially a self-published series and has now subsequently been traditionally published by Orbit. And it follows Royce Melbourne, a skilled thief, and his mercenary partner, Hadrian Blackwater, who make a profitable living carrying out dangerous assignments for conspiring nobles until they are hired to pilfer a famed sword. What appears to be just a simple job finds them framed for the murder of the king and trapped in a conspiracy that uncovers a plot far greater than the mere overthrow of a tiny kingdom. Can a self-serving thief and an idealistic swordsman survive long enough to unravel the first part of an ancient mystery that has toppled kings and destroyed empires? And so begins a tale of treachery and adventure, sword fighting, and magic, myth, and legend. I think this is going to be a good read. And the final roll is 2, and that's gold. And that's going to be Set on Transport. So that could be a plane, a ship, a spaceship, a car, I don't know, any kind of transport. Let's see what I can find. For Set on Transports, this is a tricky one because I haven't read these books, right? So I'm not 100% certain if they set entirely on transport, but I'm going to go with a sci-fi classic for this one, and that's Hyperion by Dan Simmons. And from what I can tell, this is a bit like the Canterbury Tales, but set in space. So you've got all these pilgrims who are traveling. So I'm assuming that a lot of it is whilst they're on a spaceship. That's what I believe. So the description for this one is the universe of the human hegemony is under threat. Invasion by the warlike ousters looms, and the mysterious schemes of the secessionist El Technocorps bring chaos ever closer. On the eve of disaster, 7 pilgrims set out on a quest for the legendary time tombs on Hyperion, home to the Shrike, part god, part killing machine, with powers that transcend the limits of time and space. The pilgrims have resolved to discover nothing less than the secrets of the universe itself. I have been wanting to read this for a very, very long time, and I'm just going to assume it's largely on a spaceship. I need a sci-fi on my TBR, and this is it. Last thing I have to do is pick my 2 short stories for the month. I am going to continue this trend throughout 2023. It's a way to sort of expand my horizons. I'm not really a short story person at all, and some so far I have liked. I don't think I've loved any yet. I really just liked one of them. So let's see what 2023 has to offer. So I'm going to pick them out of this little Hogwarts jar, and I'm going to pick 2 without looking. Let's pick this one, and let's pick this one. Gold means it's sci-fi, and it is that one there. So that's The New Overworld by Paul Shearbart. I know nothing about that, but that's okay. All good, that's the point. And red means it is a classic sci-fi. No, classic fantasy. And it is this one. So that's The Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti. Once again, I know nothing about that, but that's okay because I'm going to find out, and I shall tell you all about it in my January wrap-up. And that's it. That's my January TBR. It looks pretty good. I'm super excited. I've got a good mix of epic fantasy, urban fantasy, romance, retellings, sci-fi, non-fiction. I really can't complain. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to all of these. These have all been books that I've been dying to read. So I'm hoping that this starts off 2023 with a bang. Thank you for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe. It makes me really happy when I see a new subscriber. And until I see you next time, take care.